call the Public Works Committee of March 5th to order. Thank you all for being here. Just by way of start, I want to make sure to acknowledge and thank our Public Works staff, water staff as well, all that they're doing within our public right-of-way, our streets, our neighborhoods, our communities to clear the streets. NES cannot get in and restore power until those streets are clear, and as I understand it, everybody is working very well in tandem, so I appreciate our Office of Emergency Management coordinating those efforts. So please do take the opportunity, whether Ms. Stone is here, but there's a lot of social media and information particular to Public Works and what is happening in the right-of-way and utilities. So as a Public Works Committee, let's be intentional about sharing that information, whether Twitter, social media, newsletter, email out. So I think there's obviously and rightly a lot of good information out there about how folks can volunteer in the community. But I think, sometimes maybe we have a little bit more of a mind for the work that Public Works is doing. So let's just be intentional about making sure that we share that. So to that end, Ms. Stone, do you want to give us a brief update?
Yeah, so we've been pretty busy in the aftermath of the storm and the tornado. This morning, the mayor gave an update at the 10:30 press conference, and he gave some talking points about kind of what's been accomplished by Public Works. I just want to go through them pretty quickly and give you guys an update, kind of what we've been up to. In the immediate aftermath of the storm, the focus was on clearing the right-of-way, was on getting streets reopened. We're still working toward that goal. We had 112 roads that were initially closed as a result of the tornado. 33 of those were reopened as of this morning. That number has probably gone up throughout the day today. We'll have updated numbers in the morning. 79 roads were still closed as of this morning. We have about 151 alleys that are in the affected area. So if you've seen that map with the two lines, the north and south line that kind of runs across the North Nashville, Germantown, East Nashville, Donaldson, Hermitage area, there are about 151 alleys in there. We anticipate that many, if not most, of those alleys will need to be cleared, and we will work to clear those alleys after roadways have been reopened. We had 71 total traffic signals that were either damaged or lacking power. As of this morning, 24 had been restored. 41 were undamaged but require power to be restored, and 6 are significantly damaged. We have generators at DB Todd and Jefferson and Rosa Parks and I-65 that are running those signals currently. We have 42 stop signs that have been repaired and 5 temporary stops that have been installed where we're going to need to go in and put in new signage. We know that there are lots of stop signs that are missing. We know that there are other street signs that are missing. We are asking residents who are the most familiar with their streets and neighborhoods to report those to Hub Nashville. Call 311, download the Hub Nashville app, or go to hub.nashville.gov, and we will create work requests for those and get them done as quickly as possible. And then all of you, I think probably a couple times in your inbox today, received a press release. This is information about curbside debris collection. This is really important, and Councilmember Henderson kind of said this in her remarks, but we need you all to amplify this message for us. We have about 5,000 followers on Twitter. The mayor's office has tweeted this out for us, but you all have kind of district-specific constituencies that we really need to reach out to. As many of you as can retweet this as possible would be great. We are asking that people separate their materials moving forward. So the cleanups that are happening tomorrow and this weekend, if they could separate the materials into the 3 categories that we've outlined: white goods and metals, so think about appliances. Construction and demolition debris is pretty self-explanatory. And then that brush, the vegetation, which I know just from driving through East Nashville, there is a ton of. So if they could separate that, that would be great, but we will pick up what's on the curb right now. We have 25 trucks running today. We will have more trucks running tomorrow, and by Saturday, we will have the full fleet of trucks circulating neighborhoods multiple times throughout the next few days, weeks, however long it takes to get the work completed.
What is the full fleet?
I don't know how many trucks are in that. I have requested that information, though.
Okay, I appreciate that.
And you're taking it to Rutherford County?
So they are actually taking it to, we have one site confirmed. There will be 3 sites total that will kind of serve as transfer stations. So part of what FEMA does is they ask us to basically quantify, to take pictures, to account for all of the waste that's coming in, all of the debris that's coming in. And so at those 3 locations, we will be bringing all of this debris that we collect curbside, and we will be documenting how much of it there is. And that will allow us to get reimbursed by FEMA and the federal government for a lot of the work that's being done.
Now, is all that just for everything, or are we taking, so for example, the brush, is that going somewhere else, and are we going to try and maybe chip it so that we can
Yeah.
use it? So that's not going...
I don't know the specific answer to that question, but I do know a lot of brush and vegetation does go to living earth where it is chipped and mulched, and I suspect if there's clean brush that's picked up as a result of this, it might go to that facility as well.
Yeah, you just check on that and
Yeah,
confirm.
I will.
Great, okay. Great, colleagues, any other questions from Ms. Stone? Anything for water to report in that same sphere related to the tornado?
Maybe just kind of a 10,000-foot view. Our 2 water plants are functioning on diesel-powered generators. We're in good shape. Now, we are actually connected to the grid at our KR plant, but we want to give NES time to rebuild the grid's power before we convert over. So we're fine there. Our central wastewater plant is functioning on generators as well. Now, our admin building is not up and running yet, so we're working from various locations and out and about. So, but we're handling all that and providing water and treating. And I'm sorry. Customer service. Oh, and that's right. Also, the customer service building is running off of a generator as well, but they're up and functioning. So we're taking care of customers and providing water and treating wastewater.
What about y'all's fleet of equipment? Have y'all kind of halted normal operations to be using a lot of your equipment and your radars and things for public works or the rest of the city for cleanup?
Brush and stuff like that.
Yeah, stormwater is assisting Public Works on some of the right-of-way initiatives. So that the equipment that you just mentioned, Councilman, we're on standby to help the Public Works Department. I think the first step, and I don't want to speak for Public Works, but getting NES's items out of the way, then they'll let Public Works come in and we will assist them as well.
Yeah, there's been close coordination between Public Works, Water, NES, all of the utilities, obviously, and NES has been doing great work to try to get power restored. We can't necessarily clear brush and debris if it has power lines tangled in it, so really working behind them when they go in and clear the lines out of something, we go in behind them and clear that brush and remove it.
So the tour of OEM, I'm so confused, but the Office
All
of
the letters.
Emergency Management or
yeah.
Center, whichever one it is, that was phenomenally helpful. I think one thing that would help us in the community to explain why something's not done in a certain order is to help us understand what should that order be generally. And I know it's not the same everywhere, right? So if there's a power line down, we need NES there first, and then Public Works to move the debris, and then vice versa in other ways. So I think if there's something that could be communicated or pushed out that would help the community understand why things are in different orders, this I would say would be a low priority piece, do the work. But if there's a way that would help us internally to get out, that would be helpful because everybody's asking.
And I think it's helpful for people to kind of understand like the spillover effect, right, and the order of magnitude. So I think NES shared something that, 600 power poles. 673 affected, whereas the 1998 tornado was 200, right? So I think it lets people understand the scale. And then also, I was volunteering yesterday in a tornado-damaged adjacent neighborhood, right? So no impact specifically from the tornado, but no power, right? So all those homes need to be canvassed. And then to your point, in front of Hull Jackson, Montessori school, there was just this random stop sign laying there, and I was like, wait, where did the stop sign's there? And the stop sign, like, so it came from somewhere else, that kind of thing.
Did you
So,
report it to Hub Nashville?
I have not yet reported that, but
think she found the stop
will
sign.
do
You just know where to
that.
go.
But also too, I think another thing to amplify, I think MNPD has been doing it, but when in doubt, it's a 4-way stop or 3-way stop or whatever. I was experiencing, most people are knowing that, but over in the vicinity of Metro Center at night when it got dark, there were people just blowing through intersections, and that's pretty scary. So I think whatever we can do from a press standpoint to remind people, and that might be a good way for Public Works to speak to all the intersections that they have repaired, but some do remain, and allow more time for travel, because I think when people get frustrated, that's when they do things they shouldn't do and endanger other people. So,
And if you all haven't checked out the mayor's response page, it is exhaustive kind of in its links and resources. Please do check that out. It has a lot of good information on it. And I know as a department, we're sending a ton of information, department-specific information to OEM, and they're getting that updated on a regular basis. You can go to the NERV map, see where all of the road closures are, see where major impacts are, and it's very up to date.
yeah, that's good to know. I sometimes forget about NERV. One of my criticisms of Metro sometimes is we've got so many great digital maps, but like which map does what, because there's multiple maps, and
They're all
I
just
appreciate
letters.
the maps, they're good, but yeah, sometimes I forget about that NERV map, so fair point already. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me for my tardiness, but I ran into quite a few roadblocks and all of the nerves and all this other stuff you're talking about. I don't know about it. I haven't heard it. And a lot of people that I serve don't know about it. They don't have access to it. But they have television, even though they can't turn them on right now.
And that's something we were talking about earlier, Council Lady, about the importance of
I
being able to find
apologize.
that. No,
I
that's fine.
apologize for
Just wanted to let
repeating
you know
anything that hasn't been said, but, it's just been devastating for me. First of all, for me losing my office space. And then trying to be out there helping other people who have no earthly idea what to do, how to do. So having a list of this and a list of that, it looks good, but it is not worth the paper it's written on for a lot of the people that I serve. So we got to have some people, some boots on the ground out there with people and letting them know that they are cared for, they are heard. I mean, we've been over at the church stacking up. We got tons, and we got enough water to cause a flood. But what's going to happen in a month? And what can they do? I mean, it's just so much water they're going to be able to drink. And even those who need the water, many of them can't get to it. So we've got to deploy people out just to ride around to get those things to them. So I think that as a city, we're going to have to do a better job in coming up with some kind of plan for a disaster. Have locations like over here if you need meds, because a lot of them can't get meds. A lot of the senior facilities are without power, and nobody that's OEM even know that they exist.
I think that'll be important feedback to share with the mayor's administration, with public safety committee chair, and
I think it's important to share it anywhere, everywhere that we can, because that's how important it is. So I'm going to say it in this meeting and any other meeting that I can say it, because it's just that eminent to me.
all right, I appreciate that. Okay, thank you. Ms. Massimo, welcome. The Director of the Mayor's Office of Transportation is here to share with us some feedback or results subsequent to the transportation listening sessions, and our former colleague and Public Works Committee member, Councilman Bednay, is here as well.
There should be enough.
Is there enough for everybody?
I think everybody. We're up here. Has everybody got one now?
Yes, thank you.
Excellent. Well, thank you all so much for the opportunity to come before the committee today. as you are aware, and I think all of you have participated in many of these meetings, we've been hosting 11 community listening sessions. We also met with each and every one of you since over the last 4 months, and then hosted 11 community listening sessions that have just completed. You'll note at the bottom of this page, though, we still have stakeholder listening sessions that are, some have already been in progress, but they're also ongoing all the way through the end of March. So you can see the variety of groups that we are meeting with and seeking their input as well. You can also see a little bit about how the listening sessions are trending so far. There are 3 that are pretty consistently trending as top themes: transit, sidewalks, state of good repair. And on state of good repair, we're talking about things like resurfacing and potholes and ADA and bridge culvert repairs and that kind of thing. So these are the things you may recall. We've approached this very much as this is the plan to solve for everyday issues. What are those issues that are the ones that you talk about when you go home at night with your family, or that you talk about your coworkers with at work, or you mention to someone, geez, I was at that intersection again and there was another accident there, those kinds of things. So we're very much focused on everyday issues, as well as making sure that we're thinking aspirationally towards what are the things that are going to create our future of Nashville. So,
Ms. Massimo, the yellow
Yes.
boxes represent the top 3 in each of those locations?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then if you look at them across, you can see how the trends are running. That last column is the online survey. So we've had about just over 1,500 people as of yesterday respond to the online survey, and then a total of just over 700, 760 almost in the meetings.
Can people continue to respond to
Absolutely.
that? I had wondered about that, if you wanted us to continue to share
The
that.
online survey is staying up through the end of March. So through the whole time that we're doing the stakeholder meetings, that online survey stays up, and we're continuing to push it out, especially to groups now that can put it out there to, larger groups to be able to participate. So wanted to then give you sort of so here's where we are right now. So we've, like I said, we've listened to and met with council members. We've listened to the community, are continuing to listen to the community, as well as all of the various stakeholder groups. Once we complete that in March, in April and May, remember, we also told you early on that we're going to really be focused on looking at, there's been a lot of very fine work and investment that's been made in past years on developing plans and programs and projects, and we don't want to waste any of that investment. So we're going to be looking at the input that we've heard, starting to match that up with things that are that would contribute to and make for a good plan. We'll be spending April and May really in sort of 3 primary areas. We'll be focusing on making sure we validate our cost estimates very well for any of those things that could be contributing to the overall plan. We're going to be looking and making sure that our scopes are very well done, and we validate those as well. And then we'll also be starting to develop what is the whole suite, not particular, but the whole suite of funding strategies and funding approaches that might be considered in order to advance a plan like this once it's brought forward. Our plan right now is to be back out in the community in June. There will be 5 meetings. There will be 1 for downtown, and then the rest of Metro will be divided into 4 quadrants. And we'll be bringing back out sort of the specific results. But before we do that, we'll be coming back to meet with you, and we're working through how we do that, whether we do that individually or whatever in May, to make sure that you see what the community is going to see beforehand. The other thing is, you may recall, we committed to you that March is open house month for you. So all of the information that was collected at these meetings, individual, all the sticky notes, all the handwritten on the big banners and so forth, we have it available in the office, and we asked, just let us know when you can come by and you can review all of that, both for your district and otherwise. We were going to wait and give you packages when you came of your district as well as overall Metro, but we're going to work next week, be looking, because we're going to email everyone's packages to them so that we know everybody gets the information at the same time. But you'll have the Metro overview as well as all of the information from your particular district. Welcome any comments or questions you have at that point in time. And then, like I said, our goal is to be back out in the community in June and have a draft plan, ready for everyone to consider and begin to talk about and to think about our path forward.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Any questions, colleagues, before we head into our agenda?
Just real quick, so are we still on pace in terms of the timeline that we were looking at for?
Absolutely.
Okay, coming together with a plan.
Yes, sir.
What is that?
So the draft, like I said, will be out in June, and we would expect to be able to have something delivered within the mayor's term, as was committed, so by September. But we're moving along very nicely.
So the amounts that are listed, does the larger amounts signify priority?
No, ma'am, not at all. What this was there was an exercise that people did at the event.
Right.
They had $20 to
Right,
spend.
I remember. So these are the results of where people put the money?
Yes, ma'am. And then under each community, we highlighted the top 3. And then when you look across this way, you can see for the various categories how the trends. So transit, you can see, was a trend across all 11 community listening sessions. Sidewalks was a trend. State of good repair was a trend. Except Jolton.
Except Jolton. Transit was
Except Jolton. But I will tell you, Jolton was very excited that we had a meeting there.
Absolutely.
That was one of the things we heard from Jolton was they said, it's good that someone came to see us. We said, excellent.
Yeah, no, I think we saw it. And last time, folks at the periphery, their engagement, I know we had a meeting in Bellevue, folks at the periphery cared about all those issues, and they felt perhaps they weren't well listened to. So I appreciate that we're doing
And the
this.
5 meetings that we'll do the next round on will be in different locations. So we're
Excellent.
making sure that we're keeping it, keeping the coverage moving. So,
Thank you so much for the update. I'm sure you welcome calls and questions anytime.
oh gosh, yes.
Yes, Mr. Bedney, real quick.
Please share the link with your constituency.
Yeah.
The survey is active till the end of March,
Yes.
and we want as much feedback as possible. So if you don't mind sharing in your social media and your emails, it will be very helpful.
Thank you. Grateful. All right, we're going to move into our agenda. Mr. Nash is going to leave us, but we retain our quorum. Resolution RS 2020-202, Mendez, Murphy, and others approves an intergovernmental agreement between the Tennessee Department of Transportation and Metro Public Works for signal maintenance for I-440 traffic operational deployment of Bluetooth spectrum power over Ethernet data collection devices. Let's see, there is a letter to approve. If y'all will recall, Councilman O'Connell raised some questions about that last time. There had been some previous conversations as to how data was going to be used. Best I understand, those questions have been answered and resolved. Ms. Ladd, do you know? Ms. Stone?
I think that this might have gotten deferred.
in budget.
And we deferred
It was deferred in budget. My notes do not reflect that, so I appreciate that.
A two meeting, I believe, yeah.
Okay.
Tornadoes this Monday.
Okay.
I'm going to err on that side.
Yes, okay.
But we owed it to you.
Okay, with that, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Okay. And a second, and all in favor of deferral of 2 meetings?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, thank you. All right, down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. Okay, we have a late filed item, so it does not have an assigned number. It amends BL 2018-1267.
Is this a bill or a resolution?
It's a resolution, thank you. A late filed resolution, Councilman Syracuse amends BL 2018-1267 to remove Section 4, which conditioned the abandonment of the right-of-way on the construction, dedication, and acceptance of the new Hammerhead turnaround. It seems to be from the attached letter and information related to the airport. Ms. Ladd, can you give us an update?
To the airport.
As far as the location, I'm not particularly sure, but there was language in the section, and Councilman Syracuse was here because he was going to make sure.
Oh, okay. I apologize. The letterhead says B&A Investments. but
Yeah,
no,
yeah, and I'm like,
that's
I
just
don't think it's
meaning.
airport.
Okay, I apologize.
But there was a condition in there that said that Public Works couldn't abandon their portion of the right-of-way until the developer built their portion of the right-of-way, and the developer can't build it until he gets funding, and so it was sort of a conditioning sort of issue that was causing problems with his lender. And we have other ways to ensure that they will build it, other than us just holding it up until they do. So we went ahead and removed that language so they can get the proper funding and move forward with their project.
Okay, but the stipulations or what the understanding with the property owner, whatever Public Works specified was needed, there's still a commitment to
Yeah, you
do
won't
that.
see
It's
this.
just the sequence or the order of operations.
And here's here. We can make sure, we can ensure that it's built to our specifications by recording it on a plat, basically. We just have a different mechanism. This is the preferred mechanism, and this is the first time we've seen this happen. But because this was an urgency, we were willing to work with the developer on this one.
Councilman Syracuse, anything, you know what, colleagues, I guess I don't even have this properly before us. I did not make a motion.
So moved.
So we have a motion for
Second.
approval, and we were discussing before we had a motion. But now that you're here, Councilman, Ms. Ladd has shared with us, is there anything you want to share about this lake file?
Not really. This is a more small logistical thing, really, for this project. Small abandonment of a right-of-way, and it's just more about the language to ensure that the lender is comfortable with giving them a loan. That's really all it is.
All right. All in favor of the motion to approve? Aye. Any against?
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Alrighty, DL 2020-191, Van Rees, Mendez, and others authorizes the Metro Department of Water and Sewerage Services to provide public water service improvements for RT LLC proposed development, as well as other existing properties in the area. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Okay, any questions or discussion? Staff, can you explain this to us? Because I know, is this a participation agreement particular to a development? You mentioned other existing properties. That always kind of piques my interest as far as what that means.
Right,
I'm sorry. This is a participation agreement with Councilmember Van Rees. There's some events in that area, issues with the infrastructure, and as you know, it's an opportunity that we can share the cost in this, where we won't have to absorb the total cost. We felt that there was a good move to do that, and also it needed to be upgraded also.
Okay. Can you share, was there any discussion about this in Public Works Committee relative to other participation agreements? Budget and Finance? That's what I meant to say.
No, it is.
Okay. So it did not come?
No conversation.
Okay, no conversation at all on that. Okay. Okay, and so this is on second reading, is that right? Okay, and as far as the backup and support to this, as far as how this is structured, can y'all speak to that anymore?
Councilman, if I can help, this development could actually go forward with their development, but there was a gap in the water line. And so the developer, for the overall system, to create redundancy, not only does it benefit this developer, but also that community in that area. So if they're willing to put in that gap of water line, then yes, it benefits that development, but also everybody else. And so it's redundancy, and so the contribution by each is 50%.
Okay, so it's a 50-50.
Yep.
Okay. All right, any other questions, colleagues?
What was the criteria for creating the participation agreement? Last term, we covered some of that with other agreements, and I think that may have been something that she was alluding to. How do you determine when we're going to do that, and what's the criteria for determining that amount? Like in particular, this one being 50-50.
Yeah. So as you look at the development, and the question is, all right, what do they need? What do they need to do to upgrade the public infrastructure? So in this particular case, the public infrastructure was already in place. However, near that development, there was a gap of the water line. Mm-hmm. So anytime you have an opportunity to complete the circuit, if you will, then you participate. And so we realize that this is going to benefit, the question is, does it benefit the overall system? Yes or no? If it doesn't benefit the overall system, the developer pays for all of it. If it benefits the overall system, and it also benefits the developer, then you work out a shared cost. In this case, it really does benefit the overall community from two ways. From a volume of water, redundancy, but also fire protection as well.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Councilman Hall. That was building on what I was thinking about in the conversations that we had last term. I think we absolutely want to leave our departments and staff the discretion to understand that each thing is case sensitive.
Yes.
But I think we have seen, we've seen some participation agreements that we perceive to be really ideal and exemplary, and we've seen others that I would assert were out of balance, preferential to the development community relative to the city. And so I think what you all were hearing from this committee last year is not saying, hyper codifying or specifying, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, but that there might be a public-facing, an awareness of why we enter into these agreements, how they do benefit the community and the taxpayer, what, to Councilman Hall's question, are the decision-making criteria. Not that that's saying you have to check all 10 of these boxes, but I think it's important for the community to understand and for the council body to understand, because I think when we don't have transparency and awareness on that, that's when you get out of whack, and you can have ones that are great, and then you got another one and you're kind of humming along and thinking these are great, and then there will be certain folks who potentially take advantage of that, that it's not to the taxpayer advantage in my view, and that's something that I saw last term. So perhaps we can just kind of discuss, I think for us as a committee, it's important we bring that up each time we see one of these, and I'm glad we had this conversation, but we might want to think about going forward, thinking about that a little bit more.
I think those are all very fair questions.
Yep. Okay, alrighty, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against?
Excuse me, 190, I think we didn't do it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Okay, let's see, Ms. O'Connell, you're with us now, so, and Mr. Nash is back, so where are we? 10? Alrighty, okay, 10 and 0. Thank you. Okay, going backwards, thank you, Ms. Waller. BL 2020-190 grants the purchasing agent the authority to extend the terms of contract number 350322 for project design and construction phase services for the Davidson Branch Pump Station and Equalization Facility pertaining to the Department of Water and Sewer Services Overflow Abatement Consent Decree Program. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, colleagues? Anybody? Okay, I do have a few. Okay, let's see. So when we're authorizing the purchasing agent to extend terms of a contract, this committee also saw last term some extensions of contracts that, in my view, were not appropriate, changed the scope of the contract, so on and so forth. I can tell this is kind of a finite location, but do you all make that decision internal to your department? Do you work with somebody in purchasing who is assigned to water? What's the kind of decision tree on something like this?
It initiates in the department.
Okay.
And we look at it and we say we have to specifically define why it's needed, what's happening, and where we are, and then we have a discussion with the purchasing agent, and we initiate an amendment form.
And who is the purchasing agent?
In this case, we would work directly with Michelle Lane.
Okay.
And so we would send the amendment through the PRG, which is a procurement resource group, and they'll take it out and review it. And so in this case, it was after discussion, it was approved, and it goes through the process until it gets to the DocuSign process where they approve it and they say, okay, they pull it out. This has to be approved by council. At which point we actually drafted a memo to council. I hope you all got it, about why we need it and what it is. And then we come and we talk to you about it, and we hope you will approve it.
Okay. I I don't see that. Can you summarize for us why it's needed?
Our subject matter expert, Ron Taylor, can help us.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor.
Certainly. Davidson Mass Pump Station is one of the important projects for Clean Water Nashville, West Tennessee. It's a pumping station and a storage tank, and it's also kind of a joint project between us and Metro Parks. Construction for this project was delayed because of fiscal constraints. Now that, thankfully, you have helped us avoid the fiscal constraints, we're ready to bid this project. That delay in bidding, though, exceeded then the term of the contract for the designer.
Okay.
So we like to have the designer on board for construction.
Yep. All righty. That makes sense to me. Any other questions, colleagues? Nope. Okay.
I will just throw out there
yes, sir.
that as a former Citizens Advisory Committee member, this is an exciting moment to actually make progress on yet another Clean Water Nashville project.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. All right, and maybe we can have another opportunity at a future meeting where maybe you can come back and share with us for new colleagues what Clean Water Nashville is.
Absolutely.
So Ms. Waller, would you make a note of that for a future meeting, a presentation on Clean Water Nashville? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any against? Okay. Chugging. Okay. 2020-192, Henderson and Murphy authorizes the Metro government to accept new sanitary sewer main and sanitary sewer manholes for 3 properties located at 1400, 1404, and 1408 Old Hickory Boulevard. All in favor? Aye. Any against? Oh, y'all, it's been a long week. Okay, thank you. So moved. Okay. 2020-193 abandons a portion of Tillman Lane right-of-way and easement from Riverside Drive to Railroad right-of-way. Do I have a motion? Any questions about this? Nope. Let's see. I don't have a letter from the sponsor, but am I just on this anyway as Public Works Chair?
Should we go check?
Riverside Drive to the railroad. I guess I would be interested. Does Public Works, can you tell me why you're abandoning this?
I don't have the drawings.
Okay. All right. When we're abandoning right-of-way colleagues, I always like to make sure the council member in whose district this is aware of it and is okay with it.
She was briefly in the room.
Council Lady Murphy?
Yes.
She just actually, she's near the, saw her in the hallway.
Okay.
You want me to go?
Yeah, he would. I mean, it's Councilman Withers' district because it's Riverside Drive. So let's just, that's the last on our agenda.
You don't have another late file, do you, by chance?
I only have the one late file related to B&A investments on Lebanon Pike. I don't. Another late file.
What was the address on Tillman Chair?
It's a portion of Tillman between Riverside Drive and the railroad right-of-way.
It's not a street, so I'm guessing, so Tillman Lane, Tillman Driver Lane.
Tillman Lane.
So it does not connect to Riverside Drive. There's a ton of new construction through here, but back here, it does not connect. So I don't know if someone's trying to connect it.
Yeah, it doesn't cross over the railroad there.
It doesn't. So are they adding it from Riverside to the tracks? Okay.
I know that there's a house on the street with a ton of Christmas lights. That's all.
Colleagues, okay, thank you. All right, all in favor of a one-meeting deferral?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Councilman O'Connell?